Music licensing reimagined.
Hey everybody, how is everybody doing? I just wanted to check in with you guys on this week and hope you guys are having a great week thus far. Hope you guys are having a great week thus far. Um, I just want so this topic is how are you doing? The topic is how are you? So basically, I'm saying how are you doing? Anyway, welcome back to my channel. This is Karen Oliver. Um, Coach K. Oliver. Yes, you're on my YouTube channel. This is it. This is it. If you have not liked or subscribed, hit that button and subscribe. You guys who are already following me, thank you so much for your likes. Thank you so much for sharing content. Whether you commented on the channel before or you just like, thank you so much. And so it's 9:32 my time. I'm on the Eastern time zone, and I know that you guys may be tuning in from different time zones or whatnot, and you may even catch this later. And even if you don't, it's still all good. But I just want to, I won't I won't keep us long or whatever. But I was watching one of the reality TV shows on tonight, and when I know a lot of people who are doing TV shows and movies and reality TV, they just started back taping like last year, like in the later part of 2020, because everybody knows that we locked down for a pandemic in March, end of February, coming into March or whatever, and middle of March or whatever. And just looking at one of the reality shows and looking at some of the events that occurred with the violence and the racism and the cases with the police brutality against um, George Floyd and so many others before him. So they began to show some of those events. And most of these shows tape like around the fall, around September, October. But they were showing the events, and it just made me think, you guys. It just made me think back to those events, and I was just remembering where I was at, and I just I just got to contemplating on how um, I got to contemplating on how I felt and about my feelings, and so that's why tonight I'm asking you guys, how are you? I just want to tell you guys how I am, even though I'm doing good and I'm doing better. There are moments when I see things like that, or when I see something that has occurred and it really hasn't even been that long, because it really hasn't even been that long. It hasn't even been a year since those events happened in the world. And not just that, it just seems like one event led to another event. And so how am I feeling? So when I seen that replay tonight. And if I get teary eyed or vulnerable, guys, that's just me, because I'm telling you guys how I am. So when I seen it, it made me get teary eyed. I got emotional and I got vulnerable, and it made me think back, because I could remember, excuse me, I could remember some days and some nights that I had to get myself together. Because like they said, the strongest person can be weak. You know, even the strongest person that you've never seen break down, they may not, you may not have seen them break down, but they have. But the point of the matter is getting up, letting your voice be heard, doing something about it, helping others, and how we can come together to help each other grow. And I really believe that during 2020, during 2020, a lot had occurred. Excuse me, guys, I forgot to turn my phone on vibrate. So I do believe that a lot of events occurred. Um, and that I mean, excuse me, I do believe that a lot of people, some people did come together during that event. I did see changes. I did see people even admitting to their wrong. Some people were admitting to the things that they did to each other that was totally wrong. And just going back to me per se, I could remember some nights where I broke down. And the only way to keep myself together is to keep assuring myself and to keep praying and to keep staying humble and to keep assuring myself that things are going to get better. Because there was times during the day or at night that I would just break. Just when seeing things on the news, seeing people talk about them, um, gosh, it was just like a lot of things just kept replaying. Like once things happen, you know, the media or the news, they replay over and over again. The media and the news, they replay over and over again. And things begin to sink in your mind. But the point of the matter is my strength and my faith is what kept me going because, like I said, I know some of us all were in that bracket of breaking down in some way, shape, or form. We all broke down some type of way. Some of us was able to keep it together on our own, and some of us wasn't. And that's why therapy and counseling took a toll, you know, really on a lot of there was a lot of us as human beings who already have a counselor or who already have a therapist, but there were ones that didn't have one, couldn't shake it, couldn't take it, and they're like, okay, I'm definitely going to need to talk to somebody. And even if you can't talk to the closest ones with you, and then it is very wise to have counsel and to have therapy because again, some of us just can't shake certain things because of other events that may have occurred, even though they may be still healing or may have dealt with that. People are still healing every day, and I do believe that people heal in different areas of their life. And so you guys, even when, you know, they was just replaying back, you know, it felt like just yesterday, even though we know it haven't been that long. And like I said, I began to get emotional and I was just like, wow. And there was even more events that even occurred after that, you know, even up to um, at the end of 2020. Um, but there were still things that got better. There were still ways that we as a nation made things better. Like there was still all good in it. Like we still made it to where it had to start with us. We had to come together and we had to make a change. And it's an ongoing thing. It's like we don't just stop there, but it's something that is going to be always ongoing because it's not like this just, you know, it's not just like, oh, it was something new we went into. Yeah, but for some of us the pandemic was new. Some of us, our foremothers and forefathers had already been, or grandparents or great grandparents already had been in the pandemic, even had experienced the pandemic years ago before we even. So yeah, that was new for some of us, but even with the racism and with the violence and other things, that didn't just start. But when things start repeatedly happen, that kind of hit home for a lot of us. And I think it woke up some of even the young generation and just having to sit down and talk to the young generation. And even some of the young generation who now are using their voice, I'm glad that they're able to use their voice and speak up, especially of things that maybe even happened to them that didn't nobody even know until that happened, you know, last year in 2020 with um, not just George Floyd, but there were even two or three more people within 2020. I think a total of 4 to 5 people that were in that situation with the killings of the cops or police. It wasn't just one person, but it was even more people after that. So my thing is, how are you guys doing? I'm good, but like I said, if you see what replayed or you see the events that replayed on last year, and then you just think about other things from your personal experience, how would you react? How would you feel? Me myself, like I said, I got emotional tonight. I didn't break down, but I got emotional just thinking about where we were at, where we were at during May and June, because this happened in May and June of 2020, and just thinking about just family and close ones and people that you were connected with, and how you were trying to just stay together, keep together, help one another, pray for one another, and just keep everyone encouraged. And like I said, that's why it was so wise to continue to have therapy, continue to counsel, continue to do whatever you need to do, continue to get help where help is, or where help is surrounded. You always want a great, you always want to have a great support system, um, and that's in leading to any event. You always want to have a great support system, a great accountability support system around you, and I really do. Um, Believe that there was a lot of great things that came out of that, even with the young generation, with the older generation. There was a lot of things with different races coming together. I've seen a lot of positivity, even after that tragic, even after those tragic events that occurred in 2020. We did see a lot of races come together, and a lot of young voices being heard. And I think that is definitely the way it's supposed to be. And even though we had to endure um, certain things, because we are still, walking in this life. We are going to have to endure certain things, even though it's rough and hard. So my question to you is, how are you? How are you doing? Have you even thought about? Have that even crossed your mind? I'm pretty sure it's still crossing people's minds because, like I said, it's still fresh. It hasn't even been a year since those events occurred in 2020, along with the pandemic. And so, like I said, of course, me seeing that, of course, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I got emotional because, like I said, it's still fresh, and we still think about those things. We still think about everything that happened. And then we're thinking about our children. We're thinking about our young daughters and our young sons, and, you know, thinking about ways of how we can continue to keep showing them and fighting, and showing them how to fight in a good way. So you guys, I told you I won't be here before you long. I just want to chat and see how you guys were doing, and to see, how you have been feeling, and how had your thoughts been since things had occurred in 2020. So I just told you a little bit of how I felt, and what happened to me tonight, and on how I kind of like I got choked up and got emotional just thinking about everything, and just continuing to just keep walking the good walk, continue to keep the faith, continue to keep the fight strong. So I just want you guys to be encouraged. And even if you're not good today, um, journal, write something, talk to somebody that you can count on. Talk to somebody that's accountable. You may even have an accountability partner. You may even have a therapy or a counselor or a life coach, mentor. If you're not good, there are going to be days, as I always say before, there are going to be days that we're not good, and things are going to replay back in our mind. Things are going to replay back in our thoughts. But every day is not a bad day. Just keep that in mind, and I just pray that you will stay encouraged, and we're going to just continue to keep winning because that's our duty. And so you guys be safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.